So now we're going to be making coconut chichidango, which is a baked mochi dish from Hawaii. And we're going to be using simple ingredients. We're going to be using mochiko, coconut milk, regular milk, or even better, condensed milk, vanilla, water and sugar, and baking powder. So really simple ingredients. So first we start with the dried ingredients. We'll have our mochiko here. You can see the recipe for the amounts. We have our dried sugar here, or just regular sugar, not dried. And we have our baking powder right here. So we're gonna mix all the dried ingredients together first. Make sure they're nice and mixed up. And then we're gonna be adding our wet ingredients. So we have 2/3 cup of water to add in. And I'm using 3 tablespoons of milk, but ideally you want to use condensed milk because it gives that nice sweet touch. However, just working with what we got here, so we're just going to use regular milk. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla right here. And then we're going to be putting in a full can of coconut milk. Make sure you get all of that nice coconut cream into the mixture because it'll stick into the can, and that gives it its nice creamy taste to the mochi. All right, and this is about 13.5 fluid ounces. So now we're gonna mix that up. Nice thorough mix. And this recipe is really nice for bringing to potlucks or, you know, events or things like that where you wanna impress your guests with a simple, quick to make dish. So the oven's preheating right now to 350 degrees while we mix up our ingredients. And want to mix it until there's no lumps left. All right, it's good enough. Then we're going to, this is about a 8 by 8 inch pan right here. I put a little parchment paper on the bottom to help it from sticking, prevent it from sticking. I'm also going to give it a nice little spray here. On the sides especially, to keep it from sticking. And then we're simply gonna pour everything in to this pan. Right here. Beautiful. So it should come up about 1 or 1.5 inches from the bottom of the pan to the top. So it's about, right now it's about halfway up the pan. Because these coconut chichidango we're gonna cut into little squares, so we don't want it to be too thick. They're not like the brownie mochis. We're gonna make them a little smaller size, so just make sure it doesn't go too far up the pan. Also, if you use a too big pan, then it won't be thick enough. So 8 by 8 is a good measurement. Or you can increase the recipe by multiply it by 2 and use a bigger pan. So this is it, and we're gonna bake it for about 45 minutes. And check on it, and then we're gonna cut it into small squares and dust it with some cornstarch. All right, so we're gonna coat our coconut mochi, coconut chichidango, in some cornstarch so that we can easily handle it. So here it is here. I'm going to flip it out gently because it's still pretty hot. You wanna be able to cover it. Ideally, you want to cool this on your counter overnight because when it's hot it's a little harder to work with, but we're just gonna go ahead and work with it anyway. And sometimes you're on a time crunch and you have to do things a little faster if you're making things for a party or something like that. So I'm gonna cover it all so I can cut it nice and cleanly. I'm gonna cut it in half and cut it into 3 pieces here. But the basic idea is that you're gonna cut pieces of the mochi chichidango here. Gonna coat them in some cornstarch. You can put them in a cute little cupcake container here. But yeah, that's coconut chichidango right there.